Hi everyone, what's up? It's Haley and welcome to my channel. Today I am here to bring you my December TBR. So in the month of December, I am currently participating in TisTheSeasonAthon hosted by Heather from Bookables, and I am tentatively planning on doing the Magical Readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast. I don't want to fully commit to that yet just because there are a lot of books that I do want to get to, but hopefully if I can fit some of these into that TBR, then I will be able to do it. I am also going to be doing one of the challenges from the Books of Years Past, or BOYP Readathon, hosted by my friend Shannon from Secondhand Shan. So it's a lot to get to in December, but I am super excited about the books that I have chosen to read for this month, and I'm really excited too because I'm going to be doing some buddy reads as long as kind of a book club pick. With that being said, the first book that I am planning on reading, and will probably initially pick up after TisTheSeasonAthon is over, is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Of course, this was in my November TBR, but I was unable to get to it, and I am super excited because I'm going to be reading this alongside Kelly from Velvet Library, who I so enjoy watching, and I'm super excited that we're going to be buddy reading this because I think it is the kick in the butt that I need to actually pick this up. So I'm sure you've heard of Kelly's channel, and if not, I'll definitely link it down below. The next book I would like to get to this month is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Neon. Now, this is a book that has been getting so much hype lately because it is a queer YA fantasy, and it honestly just sounds incredible. I think it's going to be dark, I think it's going to be powerful, and I'm really excited to get to it. This is a book that I'm going to be reading with a few other people. We do have a GOODREADS page, so I'll be sure to link that down below. It is open to anyone, so if you want to participate, please feel free. And I'm sure you have probably heard about what this book is about, but from what I understand, it's about these girls who are dubbed paper girls and taken in by the demon king of this realm to basically serve his every whim. And I think two of these paper girls end up falling in love. Now, this is also an Asian, specifically a Malaysian inspired fantasy, which is something that I really haven't delved too much into, so I'm super excited to get to this. I think the representation and the inspiration behind the setting is going to be really beautifully done, so I'm so stoked to get to this. I wish I could read it now, but unfortunately it just doesn't fit into my TisTheSeasonAthon TBR. Of course, I do want to put trigger warnings on this. It is listed specifically in the book, but I believe there are trigger warnings for sexual assault and violence. So if those are things you're sensitive to, I definitely look up maybe some reviews and some trigger warnings for this before you decide to pick it up. The next book that I am hoping to read in the month of December is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy, the original Mistborn trilogy. I read The Final Empire a couple months ago, absolutely loved it, but have been so afraid to continue on since. I have no idea why, because the magic system is amazing, the world is so well fleshed out, and Brandon Sanderson is incredible at writing fantasy stories, so I need to get to this as soon as possible, even though I'm a little bit nervous because the ending of The Final Empire destroyed me and made me cry so hard, and from what I understand, the rest of the books are probably going to destroy me too, so that's just what I need in the month of December. Emotional destruction. The next book that I'm going to be reading is actually as a buddy read with Shannon, as I mentioned earlier, from Secondhand Shan. She has been someone that I have interacted with quite a bit since the birth of my channel, and I absolutely adore her, so I'm so excited that we are going to be reading something together. And that book is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. Now, I do have Nevernight and God's Grave on my shelf, but I've actually never read anything by Jay Kristoff, so I am so excited to delve into his worlds and the stories that he has created, even if it is a collaborative work. But Shannon and I have kind of talked about how science fiction is a genre that we both want to get more into, so we felt like buddy reading this would be really fun and a good opportunity to talk about something or a genre that we're both not as familiar with. So I'm sure so many people know what this is about, and I know it's well loved, but I'm actually going into this kind of blind. I don't know much about it except for the fact that it's told in a very different format, like in emails and transcripts and that kind of thing. So even though it is quite a chunker of a book, I think it won't be too slow of a read just because of the way that it is written. So super excited to get to this and super excited to be reading it with a great friend. And as I mentioned, I am going to be kind of participating in the Books of Years Past Readathon, or the BOYP Readathon. I love that name. It is so funny to me. Whenever I see Shannon mention it in a video, I just crack up because she says BOYP, and it makes my heart happy. But the main challenge, or the main idea of this readathon, is to pick up books that are on your shelf that you've really been avoiding or have been wanting to get to and just haven't. So that is what I'm going to be doing with these next two reads. I am not sure if I'm going to get to both of them. They are the first two books in a series, so my main goal is to just read the first one, and then if I do have time, I'd like to continue on. So the first book that I'd like to be reading for this challenge is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, the first book in the Heroes of Olympus story. I've mentioned before in the Popular Books I Haven't Read Yet video that I did that I have not read this particular series by Rick Riordan, even though the Percy Jackson series is probably my most reread series of all times. I've also read the Kane Chronicles, I think maybe 2 or 3 times through, but I haven't gotten to the Heroes of Olympus. I think I've read The Lost Hero, but I honestly don't really remember anything about it, so I would like to reread that. I have it on my Nook, so I will be reading it in the ebook format, and then if I have time, I would like to pick up The Son of Neptune, which is the second book in this series. So yeah, I really need to get to this. I love Rick Riordan. He is one of my all-time favorite authors and also just like a really awesome human being. So I want to continue on with his books. I am so behind on them, and honestly, this readathon is the perfect opportunity to get to these. So that is all of the books that I plan on reading in the month of December. If you are doing any of these readathons or reading any of these books this month, please let me know. I would love to know. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And of course, I'd love to have you back, so I hope you'll choose to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers!